Hello and welcome to my channel Blies Me More. This tutorial is about how to make such a cute top for your blies. In fact, such top can also be adjusted to almost any doll by changing the number of stitches or simply changing the yarn and knitting needles. But this particular tutorial is for our blies. And once you know how to make such a base, such a top, short-sleeved one, then it will be also possible to make any kind of sweater, or you can knit a dress. It can be something with a short sleeve or long sleeve or puff sleeve. So let's see how it will look on blies, because I will keep the same size of the top as you see right now. And this is my model Angelica. She'll show you how the top looks. This is the length of the sleeve and the length of the top. And you saw that it has buttons from behind, so it can be buttoned or unbuttoned. I hope you like it, and we can begin. So let's start. And these are the materials I'll be using for this tutorial. I'll be using this yarn. It's called Alpaca Angela. It's the combination of wool, alpaca, acrylic. Well, it's written in Chinese here. And I know that it's 42 grams. It's available on AliExpress. I don't know how many meters here. So it's pretty much thin, so that's why I am knitting in 2 threads. I also have one video about materials I use for crochet and knitting, so you can check. I'll be using such small 0.6 centimeters or 6 millimeters buttons. I chose them to be white because my pink top will be matching to the white outfit, so you can choose just any other color, and I decided to go for this pink thread for sewing because they're almost identical shades of pink. I think it will be very beautiful. And the main tools, it will be the knitting needles. The size of these ones is 1.5 centimeters. 1.5 centimeters. The equivalent is number 16 if you choose such ones with the cord. It really doesn't matter, so you can go for any 16. So it even can be thicker up to 2, but I don't recommend you, or smaller, let's say 1.25. I unfortunately couldn't find on AliExpress 1.25 of such knitting needles, but once I tried with 1.5 in 2 threads, I found that it's ideal for me. So it can be also flexible. I will be using a crochet hook, and again, it's not a necessity, and it can be, well, this one is 1.5 because the knitting needles are 1.5, but probably I will switch to number 2 because my number 2 has a sharper head and it's easier to use it. So pretty much that's it. So standard scissors and needle. So now finally we can begin. Well, how to make it a double thread? It will be just one coming from the inside of the skein and one from the outside, so it goes pretty much smooth and easy. We'll need a loose end of approximately 80 centimeters, so it will be for the cast on stitches, and also we'll need the same end for the loops for the buttons on the on our top, on our sweater, so we'll not be cutting extra thread. So approximately 80 centimeters, and we'll start with slip stitch. And then we need to cast on 22, including the slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until the end. So our first row is ready. Now we'll take one needle out, turn our work, and this row, the next one, it will be all purl stitches. So all 22 will be purl stitches, but for this project, the first one is slip stitch. We don't need it, we just move it to the other needle and continue purl stitches till the end, including the last stitch we have. It will be exactly in the same way. And now let's try to understand how it all works, all the principles of making this project, this top for Blythe. Here I have 22 stitches, these dots, and we'll take the first one. It's our slip stitch in the beginning and slip stitch at the end. So we still have here one. Then we'll separate it, because for this top, what is nice and beautiful about it, that we don't need to sew any parts, so it will be just one piece of work which will be fully complete without extra cutting or sewing. We don't need any extra parts because it's all one. So here I divided in such a way. We have, this will be our sleeve. So altogether we have 3 stitches, 2 and including the one which is slip stitch. Then it will be our raglan, or how to pronounce it right, raglan. Okay, here I'll just separate it. So this will be the back part of the top of the sweater. It also will have 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here we have 3, here we have 1, here we have 3. Again, here we will have raglan. This will be our front. We'll have this is 1. We'll have 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Separated. So here it's 6. Here again we have our raglan. Here it's the part of our back. So again it's 1, 3, 1 and 3. So it will be like in a mirror. And in total it will be equal 22 stitches, because starting the next row we will be knitting with the raglan. I will show you. So we have to make it 4 times in each second row. So exactly this raglan will make our sweater, our top, to be one piece, but divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see how it works. We also need to understand that our work, our pattern has, our project has the right side and wrong side. So this raglan will be always in the right side of our knitting. So don't confuse the very long end, because this one we'll need it at the end of our work. And we will be using this one from the skein of yarn from your right. Okay, so following the pattern I draw for you, this one we just slip stitch, we keep it we will need 2. So you see we have now 3. It will be the part of our sleeve. Let's see how to make raglan. There are different ways, different techniques. So we need to make increase. We need to make increase from both sides of this stitch. So the way I'll be doing, I feel the easiest, and it will give me the desirable effect of the holes in between. So we will do this way. So you see I wrap it from back to front. We have this stitch, and again one more increase. That is our raglan. Now we'll have 3 stitches. It will be the back of the top, and again raglan this way. Now we'll have the front 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again raglan. 3, 1, 2, 3, raglan, and we must have 3 left, and we do have. So we need 1, 2, and the last one we make it as a purl stitch always. So always we will be taking the first one as a slip stitch. We'll be just transferring it to the other needle, and the last one, regardless whether it's right or wrong side, we will be knitting it, we'll be making it as a purl stitch. Okay, and each wrong side it will be all purl stitches, and we are not going to change it. So we will have to knit all in them, as you understand. Now we'll have plus 8 stitches, because this raglan it adds 2 stitches and we have 4 raglans, so it means 8. We must have 30 stitches in total. So let's just knit, just continue in the regular way. So we take one out, we move it, slip stitch, and all stitches we will make as purl stitches. So this is the one we had as increase. We must purl stitch all of them. In the beginning I also was sometimes confused, but once I made this drawing for myself in a notebook, and once I was very careful with counting and recounting the stitches in almost each row, because sometimes I was redoing some stitches or rows, and well, usually when I'm redoing, so I'm just like frogging all and start from point 0, because especially with such yarn, with wool, alpaca, and in 2 threads, it will be very difficult, up to impossible, to frog it once you make a mistake. So a few stitches or maybe a row or 2 could be fine, but not more than that. We'll check right now once this row is all done, because we must have 30 in total. So I hope you counted and you had 38 stitches. What happens next? We will knit the raglan rows twice more. What it means? This row it will be with raglan by adding 8 stitches, then the wrong side will have the purl stitches, and one more time we'll have a 1 row raglan, and again the wrong side will be purl stitches. So we'll end with 54 stitches on our knitting needles. So let's knit once we have 54 stitches, and we complete our wrong side with the purl stitches all. Now let's see the pattern one more time, so we'll understand how we are going to make sleeves, how we are going to count how many stitches we need. So as you remember, that was the back, raglan, sleeve, raglan, and you understand that this raglan, it was adding in each second row 2 stitches, right? So at first we had for our sleeve 3 stitches, plus 2 5 stitches, plus 2 7 9 11. So we ended up with 11 stitches. What will be happening right now? We will be closing our sleeves as they are already almost done. So you will know that there will be 11 stitches here for the sleeves. Okay, so we are on our right side. As always, we will take this slip stitch, 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, 8. We will be closing up to this raglan, this path, you see, like this. So here we have 11. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, then 11. And what I am using for my comfort, you still can continue with knitting needle, but I will take the crochet hook to close these 11 stitches. I insert it here, and actually I insert in both because we are going to crochet them together. Again, together. One more time together. Till all 11 are closed. Right, and this part will be our front. We'll just be knitting them all with knit stitches, and because we don't need an increase, so I cannot just leave it this last stitch, so I will be forced to also knit it. So we have already the beginning of this next row, and here I will continue with the needle, and now from my crochet hook I'll just move this stitch to the needle, and we'll continue. So here for the front we need to have 16 stitches in total. There must be 16. So 1 2 3 4 16. so we have 16. And now again from this side we need to close the sleeve with 11, 2, let's see, we need to check how many stitches we have on this side. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. So it means from this side we also need to have 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, everything is right. We move it. So these are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in total we have 8, and here we have 16. So now it's pretty easy. We will not be increasing or decreasing. We'll stick to the same number of stitches, 32, and in all wrong sides it will be purl stitches, in all front sides will be knitting. Let's add in total, if we want approximately such lengths, I'll make 9 rows. Let's start all together. It will be identically as we did before. We move the first stitch, and all these are purl stitches till the end. So here, because we have a distance, right, between the parts, we need to make it so tight, this stitch, okay, as tight as you can, and just continue the row. I've decided to make 10 more rows, not 9, for the reason which I will explain now. You see our loose end, it's for making the loops for the buttons, and the same main thread, it's from this side. But because now we are going to finish our work, so we're going to close these stitches. It means that this working thread will end up here. So if you don't have the right color thread, or you don't want you know, to cut at this one, so you can use this one for sewing your buttons. So how to close, how to finish? Again, remember I told you that you can just use your needles. There is no such necessity in the crochet hook, so it will be just in a way that all of your stitches, you know, you see, you put it back, and out of 2 you make 1. So I cut this thread. Make sure that you're cutting the right one, okay, and we will just close it. Later we'll hide it. And let's see, our blind top is almost done. Okay, because I want to start with sewing the buttons first, so I guess now it's the right time to hide this end. And we will need a big needle. I forgot to show you. I'm using this one with a big eyelet, and now it's the right time to do it, because once we will be sewing the buttons, it also will help us to hide and fix this this end. It's always, you know, challenging, especially if your project, regardless knitting or crochet, has many ends to hide. It can be really challenging. Okay, we can just cut this loose end, pull it. Okay, so from this side I'll be making loops, but first of all I would prefer to sew the buttons. And also I don't cut this thread, so it's just one thread for all the buttons, and I'm trying to hide it the same way as you saw this extra end. I cut it around 60 centimeters double, so I prefer it longer than shorter, and I tied a small knot here. Here also I prefer leaving a long end, so it will be also easier for us to hide it later on. And it doesn't really matter, but I prefer starting from the top, sewing from the top our buttons. I forgot to mention that if you prefer, you can use the snap fasteners, also 6 millimeters, because it's pretty roomy. It's not too tight. It's not tight. You can even go for this option as you wish, but I prefer small buttons. So I will just do it in a regular way we can. It's like double-sided button, has the same from both sides, so has 2 holes only, somewhere here. Pull it, and to fix it, so I will put my needle in between, so you don't need to hurry here. So you can make just 3-4 stitches. I don't think more is needed. Okay, so now we will move. I told you that we'll try to make it also in an invisible way to hide the thread. So you see, if you don't have the matching one, then there are high chances that it will be visible from outside. So you can just use the same yarn as you are using for knitting this outfit. So in the middle somewhere here, this is probably the loose end. We will pass it through, because I don't think that somebody does, having too many cut ends to cut all the time. And if you cut more, it means there are more knots and more thread that you need to hide later on. So I prefer to make it all like this. My last button, and I'm hiding again this thread in this line. Make always sure that it's not visible from outside, because I was redoing it several times, so now I'm checking carefully each time I'm trying to hide this thread. So that's it. So here, see, it's cute and lovely. We have one more task to hide this thread. I can just do it right now. So I feel that I was sounding too optimistic by saying that if you don't have a crochet hook, it's not a big deal. But if we are planning to make the loops, actually it still can be done. Just you know, you take your needle and just make the loops of such a way, pass it, make a knot. But I still crochet them, so I put crochet hook and have my first loop or stitch. So we're making chain right now. 1 2 3 4 must be enough. I'm going to slip stitch. If you're not sure, you can always check whether it's enough or not. So if it's like in a loose way, 4 will be enough with a crochet hook 2, and this end will need to pass through to lock it. So this is our first loop, and again we'll need big needle with the big eyelet, because we need to pass this yarn thread. Make sure that it will be opposite and will be corresponding your button. It's like this. Don't forget to stretch it. Again, we'll make 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't make it like in the same beginning of the chain. No, I keep some distance. Close it. Yeah, it's good. And we need to make our final one at the end. And we have finished our beautiful top for Blythe with buttons on the back. I hope it was enjoyable and easy to follow, so don't forget to put likes and subscribe, because I'm planning many more tutorials for you and your Blythe. Bye bye for now.